Here we go. One second. Okay. Where have you been hiding? Hello. Hello, Chinese Nuna. I am so sorry. Moonlight stream good time. Yes. I was trying to figure out whether I was gonna do the Moonlight stream. I was trying to figure out whether I should postpone it for like tomorrow or like another time. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm almost done with this video. Almost done, and yet I feel like I might still have a lot more to do once I upload it, and it probably most likely will say the video's blocked, and then I have to, you know, re-edit stuff or edit stuff out. I'm doing good. I did a live stream, I think last week or so, just letting everybody know that I'm still like living and breathing because I hadn't put out a video yet. And I'm still working on the Poet Artist video, which I've decided to actually go ahead and just work on that and get that done. So that's why it's taking me so long. The video, I had to re-record everything, as you guys know. I did add the recordings to my CapCut. I'm working on it now, the visual aspect of it and some of the music bits that I'm putting in. I'm working on it, and I'll play a little bit of it for you guys, actually, in just a minute, just so you guys can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it, and hopefully it's not too loud. But I'm going to play a little bit of it for you guys. I don't have the music yet, but I'll try my best to get that done most likely today. Before the day is up, I'll try to get it done. But yeah, I wanted to do a live stream because I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I didn't like go off into the mountains somewhere. I didn't climb Mount Fuji or Mount Everest or anything like that. I'm still in the actual real world. I'm just trying to get this thing done. The video is on the long side, which is another reason why I'm not done with it, and I have been working on it for almost like 3 weeks. The video is on the long side. It is approximately, as of now, 33 minutes and about 13 seconds long. So it is a very long video. I apologize. I've been trying not to do long videos, but Poet Artist was going to be a long video anyway. The original video was actually 30 minutes. I don't know where the extra 3 minutes came from. I'm not sure. But I did have to rework and rewrite some of the scripting, so I did lose some of my train of thought and tried to like piece it together. But I would not be confident in bringing this video forward and giving it to you if I thought that it was just going to be a hodgepodge of mess. So y'all know me. I like quality over quantity, and so if it takes me a month or two to release just one video that has good quality and is able to be digested properly, you guys can understand my points and everything, I would rather spend my time on that than to just give you a bunch of videos that have no meat or substance whatsoever. Because then you guys will know. And yes, I am going to talk about the lawsuit today with you guys on this live stream about CBX losing. And I'm not happy. I'm really not happy. Really not happy. I'm sure you've heard the news, Moonlight, but the court's yes, the court, yes. Finally, Listen, everything that we've been talking about has been solidified by the courts. Like they saw it. They saw it. They saw it. How's the puppy Moonlight? Oh, he's doing great. He's doing great. He's outside playing around. He actually comes up here now. He knows how to climb the steps. I taught him how to climb the steps. So he's been climbing the steps back and forth, up and down the steps. He'll come in my room sometimes and sit and, lay down for a while. He's doing great. He's such a good dog. Sometimes he gives me a hard time, but he is overall a great dog. He's a great dog. They lost 7 lawsuits. I feel really bad because I was looking forward to, Xiumin and Baekhyun and Chen being a part of the EXO lineup for the next comeback. I feel like it's pointless to listen to EXO at this point. I can't. I can't. So I'm a little discouraged by that, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little discouraged by that. A little discouraged by that. I think they even said that Lay is going to be a part of the lineup, or at least during the fan meeting or something, that Lay is going to be there. He's scheduled to be there. I'm not feeling it, y'all. I'm not feeling it. This feels like that incident with the 3 members that were from what was it, TVXQ. This feels like that. This feels like what, JYJ? I think that's what it was, JYJ. This feels like that. I don't know if it's as severe, but because we don't know if SM's going to blackball CBX or not, which I would be very pissed off if they did, because could you imagine for almost a decade and a half not listening to Baekhyun or Chen or Xiumin? Could you imagine? Could you imagine for half a decade they come back and they're in their 40-something and you find out, yeah, it's because SM blackballed us and we couldn't come on any variety shows. We couldn't do any of the... I'm just disappointed that this has happened. And I think what's more disappointing is some of the fans' reaction. I'm not sure if this is just Korean fans. I haven't looked too deeply into this to actually decide whether it's Korean fans or a mixture of foreign fans and Korean fans. But some of these people are blaming CBX and saying, well, this is what y'all get. Like that. Melody, hello, welcome. I see you're new to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Well, welcome to your first live stream as well. Guess who's still sided with New Jeans, Moonlight? You will be shocked. Who sided with New Jeans? You said I'll be shocked, so I'm curious. CBX are CBX are in negotiations working with EXO. Yeah, that's what I think. Their company put out a statement saying that saying that they were in negotiations. So it's not final yet, but it's really, if activities can't continue with EXO, Kesha of all artists have... I'm not surprised whatsoever. Underground hip-hop rap. I'm sorry, who is this person? This streamer is... Oh! You're talking about... Wait, talking about me? Well, thank you. If that's who you're talking about. I'm not... Yes, thank you. Wait, what streamer? Is you talking about me or somebody else? Well, welcome, by the way. I don't think I've met you before. underground hip hop rap, or welcome to the channel. Yeah, you're new. Welcome. I'm not surprised that Kesha is the person. Not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. They're talking about themselves. I'm like, oh, this streamer. Okay, that they're talking about themselves. Okay, so you're advertising yourself. Well, this is my first time with someone coming and advertising, self-advertising, if that's the case. I was talking about you. Oh, you talking about me? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wait. This streamer is a member of the LGBTQ. Wait. Oh no, I'm not a member of the LGBTQ. No. I'm not a member of the LGBTQ. Wait, I just caught it. I thought you were saying I was a supporter. I'm not a member of the LGBTQ. I don't know if anybody. I don't know who told you I was, but I'm not a member. But if you're of the LGBTQ, of course you're welcome here. I don't mind that at all. Where's Mama? She's at work. Mama Moonlight is at work. It's been a while since you guys have seen her. I would really like to bring her on one day. I'd like to put her in some of my videos, because I'm going to be talking about like my review on Squid Game and things like that. Supporter, potato. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, so let me see if I can actually pull up some stuff here. I really wish I could do like a picture-to-picture thing so that these streams could be a little bit better. Then I wouldn't probably have this avatar in front of me to entertain people. I would have picture-to-picture. Let me just pull this up. Get off of here. Go to Google. Go to. Let's see. What should we talk about first? The New Jeans. I mean, I watched High Boy's coverage of the New Jeans thing. Are you prepared for Taemin in LA? Baekhyun on stage. I did see an advertisement for that. Unfortunately, I will not be able to go because I am broke. Broke as a joke. So, but I have seen the advertisement. Let me just. CBX lawsuit. CBX lawsuit. Oh yeah, well that's no surprise either. Sorry, I'm reading something. I'm reading something while looking for the news. But what I stumbled upon was something saying SM Entertainment stock falls despite legal victory. Yes, of course, their stocks are going to fall, because if there's news that CBX is not going to be a part of the EXO lineup, yes, people are going to be less inclined to even want to listen to EXO, because these three people are missing. It's funny because I don't look at Forbes anyway, but Forbes is reporting on this as if it's a shock that the stocks plummet despite the victory. That just shows you how Forbes does not follow K-pop at all. It's yes, that's the point. The stocks are plummeting because they're part of a group and they're no longer there. I generally don't understand how Kesha can look at the evidence and still easy. Look at the evidence and cover your eyes and ears and pretend that you don't see what's going on, because it could be just some conspiracy. Here's the thing. Kesha is probably reflecting on her past experience with the guy that was that had uh what was it, like, essayed her, and he had authority. He was like a big wig guy that was, in charge of her, of what was going on. And I think she's coming at it from a personal experience type deal. And so she's equating her experience to Eugene's claims of mistreatment. That's what I think is happening. That's what I honestly think is happening. Shima, welcome, Shima. It's good to see you. How are you? Welcome. But I think that's what Kesha's doing. And that's a very dangerous game to play, because when you try to look at things, that's like you're on the outside looking in at a situation through the lens of your own personal experiences, you could be making false equivalents. Like, they didn't even specify, Nugent didn't even specify what mistreatment was actually taking place, other than the ignore her gate thing, which the court saw right through. So I don't know. Like, that's just like saying that the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, the courts ruled in favor of Johnny Depp, except for that one part where I think he had to pay her because he couldn't prove that, I think it was that he couldn't prove that she wrote the op-ed, or that she had something to do with the, oh yeah, I think they couldn't prove, Johnny's side couldn't prove that she was referring to him in the op-ed, which I honestly, I don't understand how that's even possible. If you look at what she's saying in the op-ed, it's clearly about him, but because they didn't say names or anything, and she did that very carefully. So, but either way, she lost basically the whole trial, but people were still clinging to the idea that she is a victim in all this. And that's probably the way that Kesha is looking at New Jeans. Yep, they lost, right? But they're still a victim in this. People do that. People ignore the all the evidence and everything, even court rulings and things like that. Now, I haven't looked into the whole CBX court stuff, laws. I haven't looked into any of that. So that's going to take some time to look into, if I bother to look into it, which I might. But it's disappointing, because people are saying that it's their fault. But if the company is trying to strong arm a member into signing a contract that is, well, unfair, then, and then now there's rumors going around that EXO are not, like, on the same page, or weren't on the same page with Xiumin, Baekhyun, and Chen. Like, they were at odds with each other. That's what people are saying. That's what it's being reported as. Like, there's, it's funny because they're reporting on it as it's alleged. So the reports are alleged. You're probably right. She probably thinks that every allegation towards a company is correct. Yeah. And I'm sure it's probably based on her personal experience. Ironic that she was silent on KG's lawsuit that actually had evidence. Yes, and I haven't even dived into that yet. Like, for real. I'm supposed to be diving into that. It's funny because when I started talking about it, people were saying, "You guys are making a mistake. You guys are lumping in JYP with JYP USA. They don't have anything to do with one another." Yeah, like, I don't know if they realize this or not, but JYP did found JYP USA. and JYP knows about the laws, the child labor laws in what was it, Hollywood? I think it's, isn't it like Los Angeles or whatever? I think that's where he has it. Yeah. It's in California, correct? So, yeah, there's like strict child labor laws down there. You knew about that. So, yeah, it's not like he just kind of, this is how people are painting it. Like JYP kind of like founded the subsidiary and then said, all right, guys, appointed some people over and said, all right, guys, the ball's in your court, have fun. And then just like flew back to Korea and had nothing to do with it anymore. Except for coming down to LA for that Y2K, or was it A2K? A2K, to form Vicha. And then after that, he's like, all right, let me go back to Korea. I have nothing to do with this. The JYP does have something to do with this. Now, to what extent, I don't know. I don't know. But if again, and we talked about this at length on a live stream before, I don't know exactly how, I don't know how that works, but it is kind of interesting that she was silent on the KG thing, and the KG thing has like actual claims, like she's saying specific things that happened. She's not, now KG was being a bit discreet about who specifically she was talking about that was suffering along with her, but she said that there were other members suffering, okay? She was at least specific enough to say that. And I don't think that you could say that. And, you know, here's the thing. I think people are missing a very key component of how, like, the justice system works with regards to making claims that aren't true. If KG makes a claim like that, especially if she's under oath, and she says that this happened and this happened, right, given specifics, if she's caught lying, if it's a lie, that's called perjury. She can be in very serious legal trouble for perjury. That's how I believe. That's how I strongly believe that she's telling the truth. You wouldn't say things like that unless there was some validity to it. Because you know that the risk is, if you're caught lying, it's perjury. That's a huge risk. So, yeah. I mean, they're kind of right that the Korean branch aren't committing the crime. Right. That part I do understand. Like, the Korean branch is not committing the crime. However, do y'all not know what's going on? Like, does nobody, are you telling me that there aren't correspondents from the Korean branch, like, getting reports from other subsidiary branches of what's going on? Like, do y'all have meetings, or are these people that are in charge of the subsidiary branch lying or covering up stuff to save their own skin during these meetings, if they're having meetings? Because I would assume, as a responsible CEO, I know JYP is not technically the CEO anymore, but you're the guy that's in charge. You telling me you're not having meetings or whatever, discussing what's going on? And if that's the case, are those people lying to you, JYP, and telling you, yep, everything's good over here, nothing to see? And then they go back and then they start treating the trainees as if they're from Korea, and they're treating them like terribly, like implementing aspects of the trainee system into JYP USA, and implementing it upon girls who are not even of age for that kind of training to be implemented. In Korea, it's one thing. In America, it's another thing. But there's no correspondence in between, that any of this stuff is even going on. No communications. No one from Korea is reaching out to these people saying, hey, what's going on here? Like, how's everything going? Like, what's the, give me the details. And are these people just sitting there giving them details that are doctored to cover up the fact that they are implementing Korean trainee system practices? I don't know. I don't know. But something's off if JYP is just completely ignorant of it. Then again, I don't know how involved he is or how involved the Korean branch is as a whole. So I don't know. That's a very weird thing. I don't know how that works. The parent company should be responsible for their subsidiary companies, no matter which company. Yes, I agree. I agree, because you're the one that established the company. Now, of course, I get if it's like the main company. Yeah, that is kind of weird though, Chinese Nuna. Like, for the main company to say, yeah, we have no affiliation or ties to the subsidiary company and we have no knowledge of what they do. I don't know. I was gonna say something to like play devil's advocate, but as I'm doing it in my head, it doesn't make sense. There's no way that you cannot just sit there and be like, yeah, we have nothing to do with JYP USA, even though we're the main branch. We don't know what the other branches are doing. I don't believe that. Something's off. Y'all don't have quarterly meetings. Y'all don't have meetings at all. Zoom calls. Come on. Nobody, no correspondence at all. Someone always knows what's going on. Yes, I believe that. Somebody has to know. There's just no way. I don't know how involved he is, but I should at least be responsible for hiring. Yes, yes. And if that's the case, and you hired a bunch of people that said they were going to do one thing and end up doing something else, and that's the thing. Of course, I do feel like those people are, if this is the case, those people are more in trouble than JYP or the main branch, right? If it's the case that they have been implementing these practices without the knowledge, like without JYP and anybody else knowing, they've been doing it, saying that this is the way that it's supposed to be done. They could be in more trouble. But if that's not the case and somebody does know within the main company, well, that's a different story, right? That's a totally different story. Something's off. Something's off. But I truly believe that KG's telling the truth. There's just no way that she would say all of the stuff that she said in the initial, I guess, letter that she wrote. There's just no way. Unless there's some aspect to that, or should I say that all of it is true. I don't even want to say aspect, because that's assuming that she's not being completely truthful. And I do believe she's being completely truthful. So, unlike New Jeans that were very vague. Oh, and it's funny because the court even admitted that they believe that Min Hee Jin had something to do with like the story of Ignore Her Gate. Like, she had something to do with that. She has been talking to New Jeans, which I already knew that. We talked about this before in a video. They still have contact information. New Jeans has their mom, quote unquote, their mama's contact information, and their mama still has their contact information. There's no way that they haven't been communicating throughout this entire thing. It's all a strategy of Min Hee Jin, which everybody already knew, who has common sense and a brain that works in between their ears. I'm pretty sure everybody knew that. But if you just want to support them because they're girls, it's women. The women are mistreated in South Korea, and women are looked down upon in South Korea, and all this other stuff, which is not entirely true, because women are actually more likely believed in some circumstances. So, and Min Hee Jin was highly believed at one point by even the media. So, until, of course, all of the, texts and stuff came out that she was talking to all these people, planning things and plotting against Hybe and plotting against BTS and, consulting the shaman and all this other stuff going on. I hope you guys understand why I no longer cover that stuff, though. that was a lot. That was a lot. I am planning on making a video, like, basically just kind of giving my thoughts on the overall, like, court's decision, because I think that's the main meat of the matter that's most important. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, New Jeans did file for an appeal, correct? So, which I hope that their appeal doesn't go through, and that might sound cruel, but I really hope that their appeal doesn't go through. Like, this is overwhelmingly, this has been, what, an entire year? 2 years, even, that this whole thing's been going on. As far as, like, the legal stuff. Then I think this thing's been going on for about 3 years, but it's been 2 years at least for the legal stuff going on. I'm sorry. I can't look at this again. I can't go through this again. People have been reporting on this stuff for an entire year or two. They lost the appeal. I read one of the NCT boys has been targeted as well. Oh wait, I'm missing context, aren't I? I don't know who's involved. I think let's see. No matter what, the face of the company should be responsible. I think I read this already. I don't know. For hiring terrible people if they lied to him about the crimes. Yeah. Okay, I know. I take it you haven't heard about the NCT thing. I haven't. I've been so trying to, like, get this video done that I have not been paying attention. That's the downside of doing long form content, is that you miss a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's been happening over the last 3 weeks that I have not caught any of it. And I haven't even been watching videos of people talking about it. That's how much I've been trying to avoid even doing videos like that, because I'm trying to shift everything. But there are certain things that I do think need to be addressed because it's important from an industry standpoint. But yes, please fill me in, Chinese Nuna, because I am so lost. I didn't know that there was an NCT incident. I said I was going to look this thing up, but I don't even feel like it now. I don't even feel like it now. You mean legal battle? Yeah, I'm just okay. Riker says because even if they lied to you for months, you still didn't do a good background check to see if they are people worthy of being around. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. And I mean, I get that some background checks, you're not going to see every little thing. Like, it's not like you're going to hire a private investigator to investigate the inner workings of, like, what they do on a day-to-day basis. Or you don't have someone that has, like, a Professor Charles Xavier who can just, like, read their minds and say, yep, they're not it. So there's just some things that won't be revealed until you put them in a situation where you've given them the opportunity to prove themselves, and then they show that, yeah, they just shouldn't be. But I don't know, Riker. Maybe I feel like there is a way to tell. Maybe the questions that you ask, the specific questions that you ask, and I mean, people lie. People lie, and what are you going to do? Initially give a lie detector test to see if they're lying or not? I don't think that, because then they would feel like their trust is being already questioned, or they're like what they're saying is being put into question. They might not want to subject themselves to that at the company's, at the company's will. They're probably not going to do it. So, and they're probably not going to be interested in even being an employee there, if that's the thing that's offered to them, a lie detector test. So it's like certain things you can't, I don't know. I agree. However, people willing to abuse minors probably always have past experiences prove yeah, that's true. That's true. There might be some validity to that. Actually, you know what? I think you're very correct, because either you were abused in some way as a child and that kind of trickled down to your behavior, or something like that, because hurt people do hurt people. And the last part of that little thing, because people like to say hurt people, I add something to that. Hurt people, and it shows up in their actions. It really does show up at some point. It will show up in their actions. Um, and yeah, if there is a way that they can background check and find out, yeah, these people are not like kid friendly, because and it's just like, y'all know the labor laws. These people know the labor laws. How long did you think y'all were gonna get away with it? JYP USA is a big deal. Why? Because it's part of a big company. JYP. There's not many people that don't know about JYP. Eyes are on you. So I don't know how long they've been doing this, but KG is opening Pandora's box and exposing all of it. If it's been going on for years without our notice, well, now there might be a whole investigation as to how long this has been going on. And they might be looking for more people in the future who might have been, I don't know how long JYP USA has been around. I actually made a video talking about it, and I don't remember what I said. And that sucks, but I don't remember, if I'm being completely honest. I don't remember what I said. When did it start? How long, ago was it? I think I did make a video talking about that. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not defending JYP. No, I know you're not. I know you're not. Don't worry, Riker. I would never accuse you of doing something so evil. But yeah, I'm so out of the loop on so many things K-pop related. I really gotta brush up on everything. But yes, please let me know. Oh, here it is. They're accusing one of the NCT boys' family from profiting from the war zone things out in Gaza and other places. What? That's, oh God. Yeah, that sounds a bit outlandish. Just hearing it, just reading it, that sounds outlandish. Profiting from the war zone things out in Gaza. I don't believe that. I don't believe that anybody's profiting off of Gaza in the NCT. That doesn't make sense. I don't even know what that even would look like. What does that even mean, profiting off of the war in Gaza? I have no freaking clue what that means. My final thoughts is, even though KG thanks JYP herself and said he was a nice guy, I still think he's responsible for his label. Yeah, I can see that perspective. I can definitely see that perspective. It would be weird if JYP himself was not called as like a witness or whatever, or to be asked questions, called for a deposition or whatever the case. It would be weird if JYP himself, who was directly involved in creating Vicha, was not called. That would be odd. So I do believe he holds responsibility, as well as, hiring people. Now, maybe he's not the guy that hires these people. Maybe those guys report to him, right? But for you to be that uninvolved, and maybe that's a whole strategy of not being the CEO of the company anymore. I'm not that involved, so if anything gets blamed on me, it's misdirected because I'm not involved. But you are the guy that was directly involved in Vicha's creation. And you were at that company the entire time. Now, of course, none of that stuff happened while you were there because maybe some of them people knew better than to show you what was going on. Right? Cameras are rolling. So, but I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's very weird. But I agree with you. I agree with you on that for sure, Riker. I do. I think he's responsible even if he, even if he's not responsible for, the label's initial activities going forward or whatever. He's responsible in some way. Yeah, that's what I read. They're accusing his father and things. I don't believe it either. I think they just want to target people because they're celebs. It doesn't make sense for anybody to be profiting from the war in Gaza. I don't see that. I don't see how that could be, how do you profit from that? It doesn't make sense. Like what does his father do? I don't understand. I would love for those people that are like making these accusations to like explain it, because I bet you they would never be able to explain it. I won't say he's as guilty as the actual people who committed the crime. That would be ridiculous. I mean, that would be ludicrous. I can't spell today. That would be ludicrous to say, but he's still responsible because he probably had a say in who was high. Yeah, that may be true. That may be true. I mean, honestly, I think it is true because, again, even if he wasn't directly responsible for who got hired, the people who hired these people report to JYP. Unless JYP, they report to him and he looks at it and says, okay, yeah, I trust you guys. You guys know what you're doing. And he just doesn't like give a second thought or a second look at any of the stuff that they present, which I just don't see JYP being like that. I would see him as being very thorough. I don't know how, I don't know what he does, but I think he's supposed to profit like from gun running or money theft. What? That doesn't make any sense at all. Because no, that's a smear campaign. I honestly think that's a smear campaign. These people are so not like happy with the NC. I don't know what's going on, but this is weird. Wouldn't that be illegal in South Korea to do that? That's illegal. So now you're going to put his father in hot water with the government of South Korea. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Exactly, which is why I think they're just targeting him because he's a celeb. Why use that? That's one of the worst things you could even be accused of, is doing something illegal, gun related. And we all know how touchy the Gaza thing is, that topic. So it's just like, what? Anyway, that's just strange. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm not saying JYP is like some people. People called him Hitler? That's a bit extreme. I always say this, even when people call, and I'm not trying to be political, I promise. I'm just gonna say this comment and move on, I promise. When people call folks like Trump or even JYP like Hitler, you're kind of cheapening Hitler. Like you're really cheapening him. That man cannot be compared to anyone. JYP, least of all people, JYP. Hitler? Strange. Strange. I would compare Voldemort, a fictional character, to Hitler more so than I would compare somebody like JYP. That's a bit too much. It's a bit too far. And I think it's a lack of history, like understanding history or even brushing up on history. Brush up on history, you won't make stupid claims like that because it's very ignorant. Brush up on history, please, for the love of God. And that's if you love God. Brush up on history. Trump's, well, I'm not going to get into that because then we'll be here all day. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that one because we'll be here all day. And I have some different views on that. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. I promised myself I won't do it. Not going to drag me into any conversations politically on this channel ever again. And never again. I've debated people who think he's Hitler, and I'm like, okay, I'm no JYP bootlicker, like he says. Chinese dude. Like he says things that are like, bruh, I have some. Yeah, no. There's some things that JYP has said to young people, especially the young girls. Like it's just very inappropriate. And I'm not saying like he's being perverted. I'm saying he's being perverted. What is the word? Being anyway, I don't know what the word is. I don't think it's perverted. I think it's pervertive. Is that what it is? Either way. It's not that he's being perverted. I think it's that he's just being very insensitive when it comes to girls and how they develop. And they're saying very things like terrible things like you're not taking K-pop seriously if you are that weight size, like to girls who are still minors and still developing, and it's kind of, that's not very good. That's not very good to do. Provocative. Yes, that I think that's the word. Yes. But yeah, calling him a Hitler is just, oh God. Yikes. That's a bit too far. It's JYP. Hitler would never get on stage and dress in whatever that thing was that he dressed in, that big old long dress corset looking thing that he was. I don't know if JYP was having a midlife crisis when he did that on stage, but my God, that was weird. That whole thing was just weird. Anyway, what is the next thing to talk about? I have no idea. What are we talking about next? I just talked a little bit about the EXO thing. I haven't really expounded too much, but I think you guys know how I feel about that. I think it's a bad idea for EXO to have CBX excluded. Again, I don't know if there's any validity to the claims that EXO have been in odds with each other and they haven't been getting along because of the Baekhyun, Jimin, and Chen lawsuits and all that. I have no idea. I'm of the belief that that's not true. Because I don't know. I'm of the belief that that's just not true. Unless Baekhyun, Jimin, and Chen come out and say so, or somebody else says so, I don't think that's true. And I also don't think that's true if the management team is trying to work something out with SM to get Baekhyun, Jimin, and Chen back on the lineup of EXO. They wouldn't even be trying to do that if there was something going on. You know what I mean? If EXO if everybody on one side of EXO had something against Baekhyun, Jimin, and Chen, I don't think they would even want. But then there was a report that one of the members claimed that they didn't want Jimin, Baekhyun, and Chen in the group anymore. I don't, and that's alleged. Again, alleged. I have no freaking clue if that's even true. None of us do. And we'll never know. But I'm inclined to believe that it's not true. All I can say is if Becky and Jimin and Chen are not in the group, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hate to say this because it breaks my heart. EXO was one of the groups that really got me like cemented into K-pop. If those three don't come back, there's a high chance I won't be listening to EXO anymore. And that's sad. That's sad. I also heard that Jungkook has been put on such a fast to lose weight. Sorry, let me read that again. I also heard that Jungkook has been put on such a fast lose weight regimen that he's now lost too much weight. The debate started with people saying he's worse than the Spire Entertainment. Oh God, that's a bit too far. That's a bit too far. That's too far. That's too far. I'm sorry. That's too far. EXO would be dead and EXO would be dead and gone as a group without all the members. Yeah, no, really. You've lost the 3 Chinese members. The contract expired with Lay. He did not renew it, but he's somehow back on the lineup. Explain that to me. I guess he's in such good terms with SM that they just let him back on. I don't know. It's strange. Either way, Baekhyun, Jimin, and Chen are big. It's a big deal to not have them on anymore. SM is doing this as a power move. That's what I think is happening. They're not happy that the stocks are plummeting. I know they're not. But they're doing this to flex and show CBX, hey, we have more power than you do. We can survive the stock, going down. You can't survive being out of EXO, though. And if they wanted to blackball them, they probably would. They went solo without an agency. Wait, Lay went solo without he doesn't have an agency? I didn't know that. I didn't know that he like has no agency. I mean, I would assume he probably has one now, right? But no. Yeah, when he was under contract, I don't think he had an agency because he was still like operating as a member of EXO even on his solo ventures or whatever. So I think that makes sense. Then again, I don't know. You could still do that and have an agency, so I'm not. That's weird. I don't know the ins and outs of how that stuff works. But I do believe EXO would probably most likely be gone. Like there is no EXO if you exclude anybody else. As much of the like. Y'all remember how hard EXO fought to make sure that Chen stayed in when so many people tried to cancel him for getting married and having a life and having kids. They tried to boot him out. And the members were like, no, we can't have one more member leave our group. Like, we can't do it. We can't do it. So for them to be at odds with each other does not sound right. I'm not sure if that's even possible. It doesn't make sense. They've been together for too long. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense to me. exactly. Like, bruh, I think JYP can be can be a dick. Absolutely, but he's not worse than the CEO who said, sorry, he's not worse than the CEO who said the members of Omega X were weak-minded for not wanting to be hit, and said, yeah, that's just disgusting. I don't think JYP is that disgusting. And I'll say somebody who's worse than JYP is Hyung Suk. That guy from YG, the founder. Yeah, he's worse in my opinion because he sabotaged an entire girl group's career because he wanted to be with one of the members of that girl group. He wanted to be married, and there was a pretty, I don't know how big the age difference was, I can't remember, but he basically sabotaged their group to be with her. That's low. You ruined her career so that that's just, and not just her career, but all the other like girls' careers in that group. Ruined them. Dick, YG is worse. And he is, I think he's way more hurtful than JYP. JYP comes across as trying to be considerate or concerned, but even though he says things that he shouldn't be saying, still he comes across as concerned. Doesn't make any of the stuff that he says right, but he comes across as concerned. Whilst YG does not, he doesn't feel concerned or look concerned at all. He just bluntly tells you, yeah, you guys are this, you guys are that, you guys suck, this, da, da, da. He's terrible. And I think the worst part about it is that the two of them are friends. But either way. I don't know if he has one. I don't know if he has one now or not, but I think he doesn't. I think he does it at present. There's also some actors who work without agency. So they're kind of like, it almost feels like if you don't have an agency, you're kind of like freelancing, which I don't think Lay is doing. I don't think you can even freelance being an artist. I mean, you can, but freelancing. Okay, no, maybe I'm messing up my words too much. Let me just move on. Let me just move on because my brain is getting scrambled just trying to talk about it. Also read that former EXO member Chris, who was, but it's a lie because he's serving 13 years in prison. So people put out, I think people want him dead. And I think they want him dead that bad, which I don't believe he should be unalived for what he did, unless he unalived to someone, right? Life should pay for life. I don't think he's done that, but I do think that his life being ruined is okay. It's a just punishment for you ruining the lives of people who, trust me, they will never be the same again after that. It's just sad all around. I feel, I think because I'm a Christian, it's very hard to bring myself to like completely hate Chris Wu or even Tail. And I know that's very controversial for a lot of people, but I just can't do it. I can't do it because they're human beings, and anybody could have that could be anybody. That could be anybody. Do I believe that they deserve a second chance? Yes, I do, because, you know, I was given a second chance. So many other people who follow Christ were given a second chance. So I believe in second chances. But I do believe that you need to be held accountable and you do need to pay your dues at the same time. So yeah, it's I'm going to get a little bit more into my faith more and more as I talk. I know that for a fact. So expect me to come from the perspective of a Christian when I speak from here on. I won't hide my Christianity or my faith in Jesus I can't do it anymore. That much I can't do. That much I can't do. Oh, there's plenty of CEOs worse than JYP. It doesn't mean he's saying no. I absolutely agree with you. It doesn't mean he's a saint. It doesn't mean he's a saint to admit that he should be criticized. Like, yes, he should be criticized. Absolutely. Chris Wu isn't allowed to return to Japan or China once he's out. Well, that's probably for the best. That's for the best. And that's a good penalty for him. He should not be allowed to return, which basically means his career is over. Like, he's done. He's completely done. He's completely done. And I feel bad for the victims more than I feel bad for him. But I feel a level of like, I don't know how to describe, like, it's just unfortunate that this is the path that he chose. Can he be redeemed? Absolutely. Maybe not by other people, but you know, if he somehow placed his faith in Jesus and became a better person, he could definitely be redeemed. Maybe not as an actor or not as an artist or whatever, you know, but redeemed because he placed his faith in someone who has the power to forgive him. Like, forgive him in a way that we humans can't seem to do. Now, I say that because, you know, the Bible teaches us to forgive people the way that Christ forgave us. So I'm able to forgive him even though he hasn't wronged me. But since he was a public figure, yes, I'm able to forgive him and all that stuff. But it's a very complicated situation when you don't know if the person will ever actually change. But then again, we're called to forgive people in spite of whether they want to change or not, because forgiveness goes beyond, you know, your wanting to change. Anyway, he let the celeb life take over rather than, let me see, did I miss anything? Yeah, no. He let the celeb life take over rather than remember where he started from. Same for Tail. Yes, both of them. Both of them. And I don't, here's the thing. If you look at, and it's a shame that there's some people that still believe this to this day. If you look at what happened to Woojin, they were saying that he was using his celebrity status to try to like woo girls into bed with him, basically, to doing inappropriate things with them. And even though that's not true, there are people that still believe that that happened. I don't believe that happened at all. I think they lied on him completely. They absolutely lied on him. But seeing how someone's life could be ruined by just the accusations of doing that. Tail, are you telling me you didn't know any of the stuff that was happening with Woojin? I mean, it could be that he was doing this even during then. Like, during that time, it could be that Tail was doing stuff like that. But, like, if you can see how a rumor or something that was trying to be proven true, which wasn't, almost ruined a person's life who doesn't do that stuff. Imagine how bad it would be for you to actually be guilty of the things that you're being accused of, related to or similar to what they were accusing Woojin of. Like, imagine if you actually are guilty of doing those things. Like, how bad? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I am going to talk more about morality, like, later on. I'm going to talk a lot about morality. And I am going to talk about my faith a lot more. I'd gotten a comment like a year or two ago. I think it was a viewer that thanked me for sharing my faith on something on a K-pop video. And that kind of like got me thinking, why am I being so silent about my faith as a Christian? Why am I doing that? I probably should not. I should not be ashamed of it, or I should not hide it, or I should not, I don't know. And a lot of my views, even politically, stem from my faith as a Christian. My political views don't shape my views on, or like as far as my faith. My faith and my biblical worldview shapes my political views. So everything is shaped based on my faith in Christ, and I should not hide it. Even like the things that I believe as far as K-pop and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that I necessarily need my faith in Christ to be obviously moral, but I am saying that objective morality does come from God. And so in that knowledge, I talk about things from that perspective, or I should talk about things from that perspective. Either way, I think I will talk more about like that sort of thing when it relates to K-pop. It's a very interesting take that I've never done on my channel before. And I was for a long time nervous about it, but I don't think that I should be nervous about my faith. And because it's God is watching me. God is literally watching me. And I don't want to disappoint him. And I feel like I might have disappointed him in the past. And I don't want to disappoint him going forward. So I'm gonna do a little bit better. And if that means that people won't like it, people might not want to tune in because, oh, he's talking about Christianity again, he's talking about his faith. So be it. I'm gonna do what I feel is right, no matter what anybody thinks. As Dumbledore said, a good leader does what is right, no matter what others think. Yes. I love me some Albus Dumbledore. Anyway, Reddit about to get angry with you again. Yes, not only am I a right-wing lunatic, I'm going to be labeled as a black man who spews white Christian nationalism. Yes, I can see it now. Moonlight Antonio, a black person who's a white Christian nationalist. He's spreading the white man's religion. I can see it. I can see it already. Because, Reddit, they're just so woke. It's ridiculous. Reddit is just so freaking twisted and woke. They have no idea. They have no idea. And, of course, one of the main reasons why I'm going to be a little bit more open with my faith is because of what happened to Charlie Kirk. And again, people don't have to agree with me. And if people don't like what I say, whatever. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I can't be silent anymore. I just can't. I can't. I want to be remembered also for courage from my faith. And I don't want, I don't want to live my life and regret not being fully who I'm supposed to be in God. Because I was trying to get in, and I was trying to, get in to fit in, basically. I just want to be like everybody else. I want to be cool with everybody. And you know that saying, if you have more friends than enemies, then you're not doing something you're not doing right, right? If you have more friends or everybody's liking you, you're not doing something right. Even the Bible condemns this. Woe unto you, who I think what did it say? Woe unto you when everyone speaks well of you, something like that. There has to be people that don't like what I say. There has to be. There has to be opposition. I'm not trying to bring opposition to me. It's a promise. I just have to, but I have to be, yes, the white man's religion that started in the Middle East. Yes, brother Riker, based, brother, based. Started in the freaking Middle East, but it's all of a sudden the white man's religion. Isn't that interesting? And the fact Jesus was Jewish. Yes. Hello. Oh yes, and that's another issue. That's another issue because oh, he's a Zionist. Oh, he's a Zionist. Oh God. Oh, Moonlight. Yes, I believe in Zionism from the biblical aspect of Zionism. I don't know what the freak these people be talking about Zionism now in the modern times. Like Zionism apparently has changed its meaning. But the biblical Zionism, yes, I believe in that. Like they don't even know. Some of these people be quoting stuff talking about Zion. They don't even know what Zion is. Zion is talked about in Scripture. Zion, there's a portion in the Scripture that talks about the songs of Zion. When the Jews were in captivity, the people that were captive that held Israel captive mocked them by asking them, "Hey, why don't you sing us some of Zion's songs?" And the people of Israel replied, "How can we sing Zion songs in a strange land?" Like people don't realize what Zion is. Not some little. It's Zionism. It's Zion. Everything's an ist and an ism and all the. Zion is an actual place. It's supposed to be the people of Israel, the land of Israel. Zion is more so the land and the people than it is a belief system that they're supposed to reign superior over everyone. That is a lie. That is not what Zionism is. I do not believe that the Jews are supposed to reign over everybody because the Bible doesn't say that. So these people that make up these terms need to be educated on what the freak Zionism even is, because we've changed so many stupid terms now. Those dang white people that those dang white people that were so common in the Middle East. Don't Google that. Yeah, no, right. Yes. Listen, the Jesus that a lot of people know about is the Jesus from the original Jesus Christ Superstar. All right, that half brunette, half blonde guy with like I can't remember if it was bluish or brownish eyes. Yeah, that guy, the Jesus Christ Superstar guy, and every other depiction thematically or theatrically, should I say, of Jesus on the screen as a white guy with brunette hair or blonde hair or whatever. That's not the actual Jesus. That is just the way that people have portrayed him. He is Jewish, which means he had tan or brownish skin, sort of like an Egyptian, because that's how they looked in the Middle East. I think people are missing that point, but it's okay. Jesus doesn't look like that anymore. If you read in the Bible, Jesus was glorified. And when he was glorified back to the glory he had with his Father, he now has the eyes that's the flame of fire, the hair that is white like wool, not texture-wise, but color, white like wool, feet like brass, all that stuff, holding the stars in his hand, 7 stars, 7 candlesticks, and all yeah. That's Jesus. That's the glorified Jesus. Anyway, let me not, I don't want to turn this into a Bible study, but you guys understand what I'm saying. But I could see Reddit freaking out on me. Oh yes, I always knew that Moonlight Antonio was a was a crazy right-wing extremist. He not only does he's okay with the Trump administration, this man is a Zionist. White Christian nationalist. Yep. Then they're gonna call me a fascist. Then half of them don't even know what the term fascist means. They're gonna call me a person that hates Palestine. They're gonna call me all these stupid things. Neo-Nazi. They're gonna call me all kinds of stupid things. It's okay. It's okay, because woe to me if everyone speaks well of me. I shouldn't have people do that. Anyway, let me play a little bit of, let me read this. In all seriousness, how is it a white man's religion when Jesus, the Son of God, and the person people are supposed to respect is not white? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Riker. I don't get it. Ted Neely. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Now, historically, and I'm about to whip out the history book. Historically, during the slavery days, there was something invented by white slave owners called the Slave Bible. What did they do? You see, gotta take my glasses off. People have been led to believe this misconception that the actual Bible was used by white slave owners to oppress black folks. And so that got black people hating the Bible, hating God, hating all that stuff. That is not historically true. What happened was slave owners created a book called the Slave Bible by taking and cherry picking scriptures that talked about slavery, and then they used those texts, put them in the Slave Bible, and lied about what the slavery passages of scripture were talking about. They talked about how, which I don't know how you could ever try to justify slavery based on skin color when black Egyptian people enslaved, or should I say like tannish brown Egyptian people enslaved another group of tannish brown people called Hebrews. Unless they changed it and said that the Egyptians were white, which they could have. I've never read the slave Bible. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them to do that. There's a scripture that says servants obey your masters, or should I say slaves obey your masters. That is a mistranslation. It is actually says servants because there was no slavery after a certain period of time when Israel became a nation, or should I say became a, not so much a nation, but a people. There was no slavery. It was indentured servitude, meaning, and this is because they was like, oh, Jesus said, slaves obey your masters. Jesus said it, so he must be advocating for slavery. Nope, it's not what happened. In those days, in the days of Roman occupation, yep, I'm going to go there. In the days of Roman occupation, listen very carefully, there was something called indentured servitude. Now, actually, before that time, before Jesus' time, there was a thing called indentured servitude as well. What happened was, if the father of the house, if the head of the house died without covering all of his debts, without paying all of his debts and everything, it would fall upon the sons to go and pay off the debt by working for the person that their father was in debt to for however many years until the debt was paid. Then when the debt is paid, they are released from that and they are like free to live their lives. That is indentured servitude. It's contractual. In I think it's 1606, when the first black slaves, which were indentured servants, came to Jamestown, I think it was Jamestown at the time, they were not slaves. They were indentured servants that had a, I think, 7-year contract. And then after that 7-year contract, they were free from the contract to either, to have their own land and to make agriculture and things like that. They were free to do that with everybody else. They weren't viewed as lesser people. They were integrated into the society in that way. Slavery did not happen until a black man who had a servant who he did not want to let go went to the court to fight for keeping his servant as a slave, which is where slavery was instituted by a black slave owner, because a lot of people don't want to admit that there were wealthy black people that owned black slaves. It's just a white thing. No, it's not. Slavery was not a white thing. I know I'm veering off. Here, guys, if you want a glimpse of my new channel that's coming out soon with my mom called Moonlight Scholar, here it is. Slavery was not a white thing. It actually started, funny that you brought this up, Chinese Nuna. Slavery started in the Middle East, basically. Africa was selling their slaves to the Middle East, and then Europe and other the white countries or whatever, with white people, caught on to that and said, wait, why should we have indentured servants that we pay when we could just have cheap, affordable labor by having them as slaves? Look, the Middle Eastern people are doing it, right? The Muslim people are doing it, and the Ottoman Empire is doing it. Why don't we do it? The Arabian people are doing it. So white people adopted that when they saw that. And so did the black slave owners. Because the black guy was the first guy, I wish I could find his name. The first black guy, the first person in general to own a slave in the United States. Learn your history, please. It is not indentured servitude. It's not slavery. It's indentured servitude. Now, going back to what was I talking about? It's about time Mama Moonlight had a history channel with you. Yes, it's coming. I promise. I made the channel like a couple months ago. I just haven't put anything on it because we have not gotten together yet to do that. I'm trying to find the time with Mom and I. And I want to be on camera when I do it. I want to be on camera with Mom at my desk where you guys can see us, and then we can show like pictures and footage of stuff and show documentation. And it's gonna be a segment called Uncanceled History or something like that, where I'm going to be basically building a case or basically talking about like people like Andrew Jackson who have been shamed by people on the left in this country and for being a Confederate, when history proves that Andrew Jackson didn't even want to be a part of the stupid war to begin with. He went to the Confederate side after turning down the offer to be the leader of the United States, like Abraham Lincoln's army, basically. He went to the Confederate side because it was home. That was his home. That's where he grew up. That's where he came from. He felt it would be like dishonorable, disloyal to the people that, and he was very well respected there. It's not because he was a racist. It's not because he was a person who advocated for slavery. He did not want slavery. He knew it was wrong, but he chose to fight for the Confederates because he felt that his loyalties lied with his people who were over there in the southern part of the United States. Anthony Johnson is the black, thank you. Anthony Johnson is the black man who did that. Yes, that's the guy. History, guys, history. Please learn your history. It's very important. Very important. Slavery was not primarily a race-based thing, which I do believe is a social construct, because race, there's only one race of human. It's called human race. Now, people use the term race and ethnicity synonymous, but it's not to be used in that way. And so I've been trying not to say race when I do. Even my videos, y'all can tell, I try not to say race. I'd be saying ethnicity, ethnic group, things like that. Because race is something that the West created, the United States created, to basically separate two groups of people of two different colors. Thus, we have the social construct of racism, race, this race, black race, white race. No such thing as a black race or a white race. There's just human race and ethnicities within the human race. That's it. Look, I looked it up. Thank you, Chinese New. I could not remember the man's name for nothing, but yes, he is the first slave owner, and he was black. So all of y'all, and oh, by the way, Hollywood, California was a state. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. California was a state that had no slaves. I don't know if you guys knew that. So all the people in California, the black folks in California that are asking for reparations from the government, Half of y'all are descendants of black people that weren't slaves. Just so you know, I think it's California, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you're asking for reparations, and now to the black folks that weren't born and raised in there, they don't have ancestry in California, and they moved to California. Y'all might be descendants of slaves, but who's gonna sit there and try to do the paperwork, trying to figure out which blacks were descendants of slaves and which blacks weren't? Which blacks do we give reparations to? I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be ridiculous. So I know I'm veering way off. Wait, Moonlight, are you saying black people are human beings? How white people... How white supremacist of you? I'm telling Reddit. And I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist. There is, like, the term racism I'm kind of annoyed with, but I do, because I don't like the term of race being like people being described as a part of a particular race of human. It's so dumb. There's a scientific discovery which is way, 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 way old that says that black people and white people have the same DNA composition. We are not two different races of humans. That's stupid. All right. Anyway, but as I was saying, actually I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought right there. But yes, how white supremacist of me. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on that. And that's fine. My beliefs don't require you to agree with me. But I just don't. I don't believe in race, but I believe that there is racism. Like, people can be racist towards you. Yes, absolutely. I'm not denying racism, but racism is not the biggest problem. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Slavery was not so much a race problem. It was a problem of how do we get cheap, affordable labor. That's why they, how do I know that it's not a race problem? Because white people tried to subjugate white people and it didn't work. Then they tried to subjugate Native Americans, and the Native Americans knew the land better than white people did. So they would escape the white people's, captivity. And the white people could never find the Indians again, because the Indians were speaking in whatever Indian language that they spoke, and they knew the ways, the pathways out, and they knew how to never be found again. Because Indians, this was an Indian land, and whatever the case. So Native Americans, they lost the slaves, Native American slaves. So what happens? Shoot, we've got to find a way to get people that don't know the land, speak a different language, but they don't know the land. They can't escape, and if they do escape, other people can find them and bring them back. Oh, hey, did you hear the Africans are like selling slaves? Oh, are they? Okay, cool. Let's just go and buy the slaves from Africa. And the race bits, like, kind of integrated into that as a way to keep us subjugated, so that we could feel like it is our lifelong mission to serve the white man. Yes. That's how that worked. They used race as a social construct to show us that we are inferior based on skin color, and that because of that inferiority, we are destined to serve the white man forever. Now, that was not in every state. That was in certain states. Not every state had slaves. Prohibited until 1865. You're in so much trouble when I tell Red. Wait, Moonlight. Oh, wait, I read that one already. No, you don't understand, Moonlight. The Irish weren't white enough. They were so racist that 1% pigment. Yeah, right. Sure, that's what happened. They saw a little bit of they saw a little bit of that that they had a little pigment there. Also, it has to be said, white people were also one of the first people to try to abolish slavery. Yes, yes, white people were the first. Were some of the and it's funny because blacks are lied to in this country, and this is why I left. This is one of the reasons why I left the Democratic Party. Why I left the whole mindset of Democratic, because blacks have been lied to. That all these white people are just so evil. Like there were white people that were helping Harriet Tubman and God, I can't think of it. The Underground Railroad. Thank you. Oof, my brain. White people were also helping with the Underground Railroad. It wasn't because of white guilt. It's because they fundamentally believed that slavery was evil. And they wanted to help the blacks escape it and to eventually abolish it. Yes. So not all white people are descendants of, slave owners. That's a misconception. It's just history. These are things that people just don't want to admit in history. It's strange. But we're taught this in school. We're taught that, white people were responsible for this and that and the other in school. They won't even tell the whole truth in school. And you want to know why? Because the government had a hand in what was told in schools. It's called government overreach, something that should not have been happening because the Department of Education, which was a government overreach program thing that was unconstitutional and that Trump also got rid of. So thank God for that. Teach the actual history. Don't teach this, white versus black crap. I hate that. Because it just continues the division. I'm whole Scottish. I'm part Scottish. I am also part Scottish and Irish. I don't know what percentage of me, but I have, it's funny because I didn't even know that I had Irish in me until I went to a family reunion of sorts, I think a year or so ago, and I learned from my now deceased grandfather, who is actually my great uncle. He made a whole video talking about how we have at least on his side, we have Irish and Scottish heritage, which I thought was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And on the black side, yes, I am a descendant of slaves because I am related to Harriet Tubman on her sister's side by way of my mom's side of the, more like my mom's father's side of the family. So my grandfather and his side of the family are actually descendants of Harriet Tubman by way of her sister. In that way. I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm very proud of that. But it's funny because people are like, oh, if you guys, if the people from the slavery days, if Harriet Tubman heard that you were a supporter of, Trump and all this stuff, she'd turn in her grave. No, actually, I think she would actually not turn in her grave. I think here's the thing. This is what the slaves were fighting for. They were fighting for freedom, yes, but they were also fighting for people to see each other as human. And the moment that you lose sight of that second part, that people will see each other as human, you've lost the entire plot of why the Underground Railroad was a thing in the first place. Because it is indecent for humans to subjugate other humans. We're all humans. Everyone is created equal, right? Endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, which we all know it was supposed to be property, and they changed it to pursuit of happiness. Either way, That is the American dream. And the American dream was a lie because slavery existed. And white people, as you said, Riker, helped to get that stuff abolished. So, and so all this little, oh no, white people need to have white guilt. It's white guilt. White guilt. White, you're guilty for being white. It's all it is reverse hatred. It's hatred begets hatred begets hatred, and the cycle continues. I tried to tell my grandfather this because he was spewing that same mess. And another reason why I'm glad I left that Democratic plantation, because my grandfather and my aunt so strongly believe in that stuff, like blackness. I disown that whole ideology of blackness. I just don't. I can't. It's divisive. It's divisive and divisive. It's used in an inappropriate manner, and it divides blacks and whites. I hate that. I hate division. I do. I really do. I'm a descendant of the Douglas clan. Oh, the Douglas clan? You mean like Frederick Douglass? Like that, like that guy? Interesting. I have Bonnie Prince. I have can I speak? I have Bonnie Prince. Prince Charlie. I think that's how Prince Charlie in my ancestry. Really? You wait. You have a prince? You have a royal person in your lineage? Wow. Interesting. RJ, you should look up Scottish clan ancestry. Huh. You never know what you're going to get on these live streams. You're going to go from K-pop to talking about freaking history. You never know what you're going to get here. Oh, the Scottish Douglas clan. Oh, okay. I thought you meant the only Douglases I know is Frederick Douglass, okay? I don't know the Scottish Douglases. I'm sorry. As someone who has Scottish in me, I should know, but I don't. I'm so mixed up that it's not even funny. Like, I don't know who my ancestors are, except for like Harriet Tubman's sister. Like, I know. As far as like white people, I think the only white person I know who my ancestor is on my dad's father's side. Not my great uncle, who acted as my father's father, but my actual grandfather. His I think father was Boykin, who was a white guy. And my grandfather, who is now deceased, been deceased for a number of years now, actually. His name was Boykin. My grandfather is so old, or was so old, he didn't have a middle name. It was just Boykin Andrews. Boykin Andrews. So he inherited I guess my great grandfather's name, which was Boykin, and that means my grandfather is technically mixed. But he doesn't. I don't know. I've never thought of him as mixed. Is he mixed? Is my grandfather the son of Boykin? There's a lot going on there. Anyway. I'm shockingly Caucasian, Moonlight. Absolutely no. Hey, it be like that sometimes. Did you wake up one morning and be like, whoa, I didn't realize I was so white. Look at my skin. God have mercy. Not a drop of melanin on me. I have two middle names. You have two middle names. Gosh. I wish I had two middle names, actually. I wish I did. Because I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have a bunch of names. Like Albus. Albus Percival Wulfric Brand Dumbledore. I think that's cool. That's prestigious right there. I like that. You know you're somebody when you've got more than 3 names. When you've got like 5 names, woo. There was a guy that used to go to my elementary school. Well, kid, elementary school kid. His name was Commodore Bob Andrew Rhodes. He had 4 names. Commodore, which is a rank, if I'm not mistaken. Commodore Bob Andrew Rhodes. And funny enough, he looked like SpongeBob. It made perfect sense when we found out that his name was Commodore Bob. Now, he went by Andrew Rhodes, so we didn't know that he had 2 other names before Andrew Rhodes. But when they called his name fully and they said Commodore Bob, I said, "Oh shoot. I knew he looked like SpongeBob." They based SpongeBob off of Commodore Bob. I wish y'all could see a picture. Maybe I can pop my yearbook out one day and show you. Maybe I can pop my yearbook out one day and show you guys. I don't know if you guys are going to see it fully, but it's in black and white. But I would love to show you guys who Andrew Rhodes looks like, what he looks like. Because when you see him, you're going to be like, okay, that's SpongeBob. Like, straight up. He had the Bucky teeth and everything. He looked like SpongeBob. He was kind of chubby, like Humpty Dumpty a little bit. And he had this, this is like the early 2000s. So, late 90s, like 90, elementary school, it was like 98, 99. So, yeah, it was, so before 2000 hit, I think that's how this goes. Before 2000 hit, I think he had like, I could be wrong, he had like this weird hairstyle. But anyway, I'm showing my age. I was about to say, geez, my last name. Oh, I was about to say, no, I was about to say, guess my last name, forgetting it's in YouTube. Are you sure you're not a comedy? Are you sure you're not a comedy channel, Moonlight? My mother has 5 middle names. God have mercy. 5? Albus Percival Wulfric Brand. Wow, so she literally has about the same amount of names as Albus Dumbledore. That's crazy. Maybe I'll give one of my kids 5 names. I like that idea. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't know how my wife would like that. I don't know how she'd like that. Why do American people have your books? Or why do American people have yearbooks? You know what? I don't know. I'm not sure why we have yearbooks. I mean, so that we could look back on it and be like, yeah, that was my teacher, and that was the those were the class reps. Oh yeah, that was my coach. Yep, that was me as a kid. Yep, wow, yeah. It's for nostalgia, I guess, but I guess there's really no real point in a yearbook except to say that you went to the school and like you were there. I don't really think that there's a point. Yes, Moonlight, my mom's name is Jennifer Marion. Hope I said that right. Jennifer Marion or Marion. Margaret Ida. Wow. Jennifer. Wow. There's a lot of names. Golly, there's 2 M's. And I don't know why, but European women love the name Margaret. Love the name Margaret. the Queen Elizabeth II's sister was named Margaret. The Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. People love the name Margaret. My full name is Riker Dale Jeffrey. Hey, Riker Dale. That sounds like a, what do you call it? Riker Dale. That sounds like, either a fort, like Fort Riker Dale. Have you ever been to Fort Riker Dale? Like a military base or something? It also sounds like a, Riker Dale. I'm trying to think of what do you call a harbor. Riker Dale Harbor. It sounds like either a fort or a harbor. And as many of you already know, my full name. But you just call me AAA. If people have called me AAA in the past, because all of my names start with an A. Ugh. I really should actually put money into this Prism Live thing so I could get a better avatar. Like a 3D one that moves around and stuff. Like, I think that would be cool. I have an island prison named after me. Yes, Rikers Island. Yes, that's true. That's very true. Rikers Island. Yes, New York people love to talk about Rikers Island. But let me let you guys hear. There's not a lot of people here today, which is fine. But I'll let you guys hear some his jail bait. Let me let you guys hear a little bit of the poet artist. This is 33 minutes, guys, but I'm just going to let you guys hear a little snippet of, make sure the volume is up a little bit, let you guys hear a little bit of the poet artist thing here. Jung Tae, sorry I'm late. Hey, what's going on, Jung Tae? Welcome. How dare you, Nuna? Good to see you, by the way. Long time no see. I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. Then again, I haven't been around in a minute because I've been working on this blasted. Let me not be harsh towards my work. I've been working on this video that's like 33 freaking minutes long. So, yeah. And I've made a lot of confessions in this video. A lot of confessions. All right. Love the avatar. Oh, thank you. He so doesn't look anything like me. He looks nothing like me at all. It's a shame. Ah, if only I had that hair. And those pretty eyes. I think I almost have the skin tone, but I just don't have that hair, and I don't look like mixed enough to have that kind of textured hair, but how interesting would it be? Like, nobody has seen any of my videos with my face, and one day they just like come across my live streams and they see this avatar and they're like, oh, the guy behind it must be really handsome. And then all of a sudden I reveal myself and they're like, whoa, that's not what I was thinking at all. Like, put the avatar back on, please. Moonlight's biggest confession is that he's in love with me. Oh, yes, that's true. That's true. That is my biggest confession. I am like deeply in love with Riker. And I plan to steal him away from his girlfriend. Yes, that's very true. You look identical. Yeah, right, sure. Sure. My nose doesn't look nearly as perfect as this guy's. My eyebrows aren't even as thick as his. It's a shame. But yes, that's my biggest confession. I am in love with Riker, and I want to meet him one day. Let me, you know what? Let me not take it too far. Let me leave it there. Leave it there. Let me leave it there. Let me leave it there. I don't want Riker's girlfriend to see this live stream and be like, "Excuse me, this flirting stuff has to stop. Stop flirting with this man." All right. Terrible, 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 terrible. Anyway, let me play some of this the snippets of this poet artist thing here, just so you guys can. And my girlfriend heard that and said, "Wow, oh no, wait, he can try." I will never, ever, ever be so bold as to try to do something like that. No. And I'm sure she's way hotter than me anyway. No, I would never dream of it. Never dream of it. Maybe that's why one of the viewers thought that I was like a part of the LGBTQ. Maybe it's because they caught me making jokes like this with Riker. Maybe that's why. I understand now. I get it. I get it. You thought I was gay because I've been hitting on Riker. That makes perfect sense. I get it. That's why I had to clarify and say I'm not an LGBTQ. That's right. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. All right. Let me, no offense. My girlfriend is so attractive. Yeah, no, there's just no way. I can't compete. I can't compete. All right, let me play a little bit of this for you guys. Let me see. Where should I start? Where should I start? I don't want to start at the beginning. Let me see. Should I start at the beginning? Nothing gay about loving a homie. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Nothing gay about loving a homie. That's true. And I do love you, brother. I do. Let's see. Haven't met your girlfriend, but I love her too. Let's see. Where should I start at? Should I start? I have no idea. Hold on. Let me blow this thing up a little bit because I have no idea where to start. Just I want to give y'all a good sneak peek. Let me see. Should I start here? Start here.
Junghyun is very good and masterfully skilled at creating colorful and vibrant songs, but this song is the most vibrant I've ever heard from him. And with all the members' vocals added to it, interestingly enough, completes the song in a prophetic manner. It's almost as if the members' vocals were meant to be on this track. Junghyun pushed the envelope so hard on the creativity of this song that this song fits perfectly with the Story of Light album from a musical standpoint. The song's vibrant sound, comprised of electropop, reggae, and some elements of Bollywood music, which I am convinced is in this song. All of these musical elements fused into one song. It's very reminiscent of the music you hear in The Story of Light. Songs like Countless, Good Evening, Chemistry, and I Want You. Now, whilst the songs I've mentioned may not sound exactly like this one, it's unmistakable. The musical elements of this song fit so well with the thematic sound of the story of Light. Like, if you were to add poet artist to the track list of the story of Light, it would fit perfectly. And it's almost like this song was constructed prophetically, musically, in such a way that it almost feels as if Junghyun was musically predicting what SHINee's sound would evolve into. And that, to me, kind of shows just how on the pulse of SHINee's future sound his artistic mind and penmanship were. It's just too on the nose for me. From the very first verse.
Okay, I think that's enough. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. Hopefully I didn't get copyrighted. That would suck if I did. That would suck if I did. Let me make sure I didn't. Let me make sure I didn't. Edit video. Just make sure I didn't. Just that would suck if I got copyrighted for that. Glad I came in to dilute the Scottish representation. I want to go, who's that sexy voice speaking right now? Oh yes, it's yes. You caught the gist of the whole chat. When I first introduced my girlfriend to my friends, they looked at me. They looked at her and said, "You got her? How?" Dang, well, shoot. I wish I was your friend so I could actually see what they were talking about. That's crazy. Hey, Riker's a player. Y'all don't know. That man knows how to score. I need to learn from him. Because right now I'm not having such a great time. Let me see. This is what I need right here. Hopefully I did not get copyrighted. Hopefully. Please. Tell me that I didn't get copyrighted. I'm hoping to God I didn't. Okay, I hope I solved the problem. I hope it doesn't copyright my live stream. If it does, then oh well. I'll just have to deal with it. But yeah, I have a lot to work on. Even after it's like finished, if it doesn't go through because there's a copyright that bans the entire video from being seen, I still have to go back and then re-edit some stuff out so that it can be visible. So there's that aspect of the editing process as well that I'm not looking forward to. And it's a 33-minute long video, so that doesn't help. If it was 12 minutes, 15 minutes, I'd be okay. But it's 33 minutes. Not happy about that. Let me go back to the live stream. Go back to the live stream. Okay. Have you seen my AI generated vids using microfiction Moonlight? I added my Instagram as well. I haven't seen them. I have to look at them. I definitely have to take a look at them. My mom loved your AI SHINee thing. I can't remember what it was, but my mom loved it. She told me, she was like, yeah, I saw SHINee's Nuna's, Nuna's she saw it and she was like, yeah, that was really cool. Keep the original. Wait, just when my ego is getting a high, wait, oh, Jesus, hold on. Just when my ego is getting to high, just when my ego is getting too high, my friends just push it back down. Yeah, right. Like, yep, this is my girlfriend, guys. Look, whoa, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you got her. Okay. Well, God gave you a beautiful woman to humble you. That's what it's for. She humbles you. She makes you look good. I guess that's what that's they're trying to say. Keep the original and do another if copyright, then you won't be. Well, what I'm probably gonna end up doing is, because it shows you it shows you the reason why it's copyrighted. It'll like show the sections of the video that are copyright or that are causing the copyright. So what I'll do is I'll go back into CapCut and re-edit those sections so that won't be a problem. And I've done it many times before, so that way I won't have to like redo everything. So don't worry, this thing will come out sooner than... I should be careful, because the last time I bragged and boasted about how this thing was like going to come out the next week or so, and then that's when like all of my stuff got corrupted. Maybe I shouldn't brag and boast about... I don't know. I think every evil force imaginable has been preventing this video from coming out for some odd reason. It's almost as if this video was going to be like some big, fantastical video. And that's what it feels like. It's like all the forces of hell have been coming against me, trying to make this blasted video. It's been months. And if anybody's been here long enough, you know that I've been talking about this video for a long time. My What Is Woke video didn't even get attacked this much. Like it went from almost being done to the next day I wake up after I do the live stream saying it's going to be done. All of my files are corrupted and stuff's missing. And then I try to like re-record everything. And then all of a sudden what happens? I press a button on my notes and half of the script is missing and disappears. Now I have to like restructure the script to the best of my memory and re-record that. And yeah, it's just been too much. Oh yes, she keeps me from dying constantly. Riker's a cool guy, so there's no way that this guy couldn't get... Hey, and Riker actually is not half bad. Like the guy, if you look, I don't... your friends, I don't know how your friends look, but you actually are a very handsome guy. Just so you know. Very handsome guy, Riker. And and I have heard it said many times that some of the smartest people in the world are people in wheelchairs. And if you ever want an example of that, I know he's not a real character, but you know, Charles Xavier is a pretty smart guy. Why did that feel like not a compliment for some odd reason? That was actually supposed to be a compliment. Just so you know, I actually like Charles Xavier. He's a really he's one of my favorite mutants. But anyway, I feel like me trying to like... I feel like saying that was just, I don't know, something was off about it. And then me trying to like double down and say, oh, just to let you know that Xavier is like literally one of my favorite characters. It almost felt like I was trying to do PR for what I just said. Jesus. I'm average intelligence at best. No. No. I don't believe that. You have more common sense than a lot of people. Storm has a thing for bald men. Like, Storm? I didn't know Storm had a thing for bald men. I got you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think it's actually cool to have a friend who's in a wheelchair. I think that's cool. Just saying. And yes, no, you're not average intelligence. You're actually quite smart, because some people, I don't know. Listen, you know, the people of average intelligence are the ones that you be looking at on Reddit. Okay, those people are average intelligence. Yes, in the comics, a crossover with X-Men and Star Trek. Oh, wait a minute, that's an old one. I remember I had a comic that advertised the X-Men Star Trek crossover, but I guess I forgot which generation of Star Trek it was. No, yep, you're right. It was that one. She has a thing for bald men, Jesus. Isn't that ironic though? Picard, Patrick Stewart ends up becoming Professor Xavier in the movies anyway, so he plays Picard and Xavier. Two people who I like a lot. Picard is a very intellectual Shakespearean guy. I like Picard. Love that. That guy is just amazing. There's two crossovers. Oh my god. If there's one thing I hate, it's people assuming I'm dumb because I'm in a wheelchair. But don't ding. I wish I had that sound effect for every time Riker tells a joke. There's two crossovers. There's a crossover with the original show and wait, what? With the original show in the comics too. Also, there's a Doctor Who Star Trek. Oh God, that's crazy. With the 11th Doctor. Also, if you haven't seen the new Strange New World Star Trek show yeah, I've watched it. I've lost interest in Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is I don't know what the freak they're doing. And my dad is a huge Trekkie. He used to watch the original Star Trek when he was a kid. And then I got into Star Trek when I started watching Next Generation, which was more so my generation. And then, of course, from that, it was Deep Space Nine, and there was another one too. I can't remember what that one was called. But anyway, I started watching Star Trek after the original because y'all know that's too old for me. That was like in the 70s or something like that. But either way, Voyager, thank you. Voyager, Deep Space Nine, thank you. That's right. I feel like I'm telling my age. These kids today don't know anything about that. I even remember the music. It's just after Gene Roddenberry passed away, it's just like, it seems like the people in charge of Star Trek don't know how to tell the stories anymore. Like Captain Pike, I thought that was a brilliant idea to bring Captain Pike in. There's only been one episode of Star Trek with Captain Pike in it. Now I'm getting in my geek phase. One episode of Captain Pike, and then after that, it was Captain Kirk. And then, so I guess they felt, hey, let's expound more on the Captain Pike story. Because there were more, voyages, rather, of Captain Pike. And I went into the show thinking that's a great idea. And then all of a sudden, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. Spock, I think they joke too much. It's becoming like the Orville. The Orville, which was a Star Trek parody show that I think was created by the people that made Family Guy. And I love Family Guy. Family Guy was funny. It was funny then, it's still funny. Now, some of the things that they say now, I'm kind of looking at like, okay, that was a bit too far. But for the most part, it was funny. I got a good laugh out of Family Guy back when I was in high school. But I just, it feels like they're turning that show into another version of the Orville. And there's just like, it's not enough serious stuff going on. There's a lot, and I'm not trying to be like, y'all know me. I don't play that stuff, but there's way more women than there are men. There's not a balance of like men and women. I see Pike, I see Spock, I see the Doctor, the black guy, and then everybody else is like a woman. And I was like, well, why are there so many women here? Now, what's her name? The girl that plays like a younger version of Ahura. She's on there. But then you've got all of these other people that I've never met. I don't know who these people are. And they're not I think the characters are not that compelling for me. They're just not that compelling. Even Captain Pike is not that compelling for me anymore. They ruined Spock's character. There's one girl on there who's supposed to be like a descendant of Khan, when timeline wise it doesn't make sense, because Khan is not. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, some of the stories are just a little too wacky. There's just not enough. Star Trek, the Next Generations was way better than that. And perhaps it's because Gene Roddenberry was still alive. But they knew how to tell the story. Then Picard came out, and I was very excited when they announced Picard. And then I found out that it wasn't really primarily about Picard. It was about all these other people. And then Picard became basically a cameo in his own show. And then I saw this weird trend on the show where these people were just disrespecting the man, just beating him down. I'm like, this dude's an admiral. This dude is an admiral. He's done a lot for Starfleet. And y'all just gonna beat this man down like he's the worst. I get it. He was Locutus of Borg at one point in time. He was a Borg, but he's not a Borg anymore. And I get that he basically destroyed a lot of Enterprise ships as Locutus of Borg. He was very, very instrumental in what happened. But that was not Picard. That was Locutus. But anyway, I'm getting carried away. Oh, sci-fi. Yes, I'm getting carried away. I'm sorry. Backstory of Khan as a podcast on Spotify. Really? Actually, I'd actually be interested in seeing that or listening to that, a backstory of Khan, because Khan is actually a really interesting character. My dad used to call me a Vulcan when I was a kid because I raised my eyebrow a lot, and my dad got a kick out of it. I was the only kid that knew how to do that among my siblings, and so he was like, "Yeah, you're." And I talked very low. Of course, my dad didn't know this, but I didn't talk much. I just gave looks at home because I was being bullied and stuff. And my first grade teacher was, the biggest bully of all. And so I didn't say much. What I would do is I would make, facial expressions and things like that. But my dad would constantly pick with me and call me a Vulcan. Stupid. Anyway, I can't quite remember the reason why I'm telling y'all that. But anyway, there are 5 lights. Yes, there are 5 lights. There are 4 lights. Oh, you want to hear the way my parents would punish me, Moonlight. Oh God. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm ready. What would they do when they punished you? So basically he got the berry treatment in the front. Yes, he did. He became a side character in his own show. Yes, he did. It was called Picard, but it was about everybody. It was about Data's daughter or whatever that thing was. It was about her. It was about these other characters, and then they killed Picard and put his consciousness in a cyborg body that looks as old and as decrepit as the original body, and then they tried to justify it and explain it away by saying this is what Picard would have wanted. That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. I mean, if you kill Picard's body, then Picard is gone. Don't try to put his consciousness into another old person body that looks just like Picard, an android body. It was dumb. It was dumb. I don't think these writers were thinking. You don't kill Picard in his own show and then bring him back by putting him in a body of a cyborg that looks just like Picard, the old Picard. If my body's destroyed, the last thing I'd want is for you to put my body or put my consciousness in the body of 80-something-year-old Avery. No, put my consciousness in the body of like maybe 25-year-old Avery, or maybe like a 30-year-old Avery. No, don't put it in anyway. Bad writing. Bad writing. Sorry, Four Lights. Well, it was Four Lights, but then Picard said that he almost thought that he could see five lights. So you're not that far off. He almost thought he could see five lights, even though he knew it was only four lights. Don't ask me how I remember that. Chain of Command episode. Data's daughter was David. Wait, Data's daughter was Lal. Yes. Lal was you're talking about Next Generation, right? Didn't he have like another like daughter-esque thing or whatever? Wasn't Picard, what was that girl on Picard? I can't remember what her name was. Retro sci-fi Nuna. So I'm not even joking. Wait. They convinced me till wait, hold on, I'm missing it. Oh, you want to hear? Oh, wait. They convinced me till I was 8 that only they could unlock my chair. And they would lock me in my chair and leave me. No. Oh, no. Oh, my God. At 8? Wait, let me see. Wait, what did he say? They convinced me till I was 8. Oh. I'm not even joking. Oh my God. That's terrible. I don't know if I would do that to my paralyzed child. I don't think I don't think I could do that. I don't know. Maybe I might be capable of doing that, but I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could for real. I'm the kind of guy that's I'm a very soft person, so I'd probably just pick my child up and hug them all the time. And tell them how proud I was. Yeah, that's terrible. There was only Lal. The machine girl you're referring to in Picard was 7 of 9. No, I mean like the girl that was on season 1. There was a girl that was like she was some kind of special girl or whatever, and she had some kind of connection to Data or something like that. and then something happened to her, and then there was another one of her that Picard found. And I can't remember if she was like a cyborg or if she was like some kind of human that was like an android, or I can't remember what she was. But no, Seven of Nine was a Borg. She was also a Borg years ago. Oh, by the way, what was the deal with them changing Seven of Nine's sexuality to lesbian? She liked Chakotay, did she not? Chakotay was. So what's that about? So all of a sudden she's not straight anymore. Like well, we have to, and I get it. Like, the people want to. We had to modernize it for, like, yes, she was an android with emotions, but she's not. She wasn't his daughter. Okay, I thought she had some kind of tie to Data in some way, and I couldn't, because they had some kind of, I can't remember what it was that they showed where, like, she had some kind of tie to Data, but I it's been a while since I even watched Picard, so the finale of Picard was probably the best part of Picard, because they went back to the drawing board, got all of the old gang together, and I thought that was cool. And my boy Riker was there, which Riker is probably my favorite first officer of all time. I mean, besides Spock, Riker is my favorite. Riker is the best. Commander William Riker, or first officer rather, or still commander. Anyway, Data found the technology for androids via Romulus. My boy. My dad also told me at 5, "Hey son, you will get bullied, although you will get bullied you will get bullied all through your life." And he said everything bullies. He said everything bullies would say to get me used to it. And so, what? Well, I mean, okay, I guess that's like a way of toughening you up, but hey, hey son, I'm gonna put you through a myriad of tests. I want to see how you're gonna respond to them as a handicapped guy, all right, in a wheelchair. I know you're just 5, but you're gonna have to learn this at some point, because when you get to school, you're gonna get bullied a lot, right? You're gonna get teased. So I'm gonna try to get you ready for it. All right. Hey, what's up, Wheelie? And just starts like going off in all these different. This is an education level I'm not familiar with. This kind of education I'm not familiar with. I'm a Goyle. A Goyle? Hi. A Ali Gafor. I apologize. I have always tried to make it a point to not say names that I know I'm going to butcher at some point, and I apologize. Issa? I'll just call you Issa. I think I said that right, Issa. Exactly, it was tough parenting. Hey, I haven't committed a crime, so it kind of worked out. Could a guy in a wheelchair commit a crime though? Like, is that even possible? Moonlight just use the easiest name. Yes, thank you. Yes. Issa. I think that's Issa. Yes. Welcome, by the way, Issa. Welcome. Nice to meet you. I mean, yeah, you just need a gun. I mean, yeah, but you gotta wheel yourself and have the gun, unless you have like one of those wheelchairs that you just press the knob and it goes forward and back, right? Then it'd probably be a little easier. I'm sorry, but you're not a moving target when you're shooting at people. And if somebody has a gun and they're shooting at you, right, you're not going to be able to dodge. So that's why I'm saying, like, how, just in case there was somebody who was trying to protect the people and they had a gun and you're trying to, rob a bank or something with a bunch of people, your man is going to have to spot you and make sure that you're not shot, because I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I'll just take your point that your dad saved you from a life of crime. I'll just take your point. Well, even if the place didn't have stairs, say it was like a place that's like Walmart, like a super Walmart with a bunch of aisles. You're going to have to wheel yourself into aisles after aisles after aisles to avoid people. You're probably going to be more busy running from people trying to shoot you than you trying to shoot other people. Or, well, I mean, that's assuming that there's security that have guns in Walmart when you guys are robbing Walmart. Why am I talking about this? You're not a criminal. So your dad, as you said, your dad saved you from a life of crime. Now you're too smart for that anyway. It's Canada. No one besides criminals have guns. Oh, real? Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? I didn't know that. So there's like strict gun laws in South. What was I thinking? In Canada. But robbers and people like that have guns. That's not good. That's not good. Unless it's cybercrime. Canada isn't allowed guns unless it's hunting rifles. Ah, interesting. I did not know that. I did not know that. Oh my goodness. What time is it? 2 hours, 27 minutes. All right, guys. I think we should call it a day. It's been 2 hours and 27 minutes. I don't want to go above that. I actually was only going to have this thing on for about an hour and 30 minutes, but I think we got carried away and had a good time. So, and I got a little carried away with history as well. So, history biblically and history historically. There we go. Well, that's not entirely true. We are allowed them. We just have to keep them in a safe. Well, that sucks. That sucks. Anyway, yeah. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for keeping me company. I really do appreciate it. I really, 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 really appreciate it so much. Chinese Nuna, Riker, thank you. Thank you guys. All my blues, I appreciate you. Where's the other blue that was here earlier? There was another blue here too, right? I thought there was another blue here, but maybe I'm wrong. Well, either way. Thank you guys. Thank you for my blues. I appreciate you guys always, 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 always. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. That was fun. Such a fun live stream. I will keep this live stream up, even though I did get biblical and historical. I don't care. I'm going to keep the freaking live stream up because it was a great, fun experience and fun time. And yes, that is the puppy yelling and screaming and stuff. I think my sister must have come home. So, all right, guys, I will be leaving you now, but I do want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and to turn on the notification bell as always, of course. I don't do this often, but I should. If you want to donate or send me some love in the form of monetary value, you can super chat on my live streams. If not super chat, there is a super thanks. I gotta cover all this because my mom told me that I need to do better. Make some money, boy. Like, okay, fine. She didn't say it like that. She said it in a more loving way. Y'all know her. But there's a super thanks on my videos. If you click the super thanks, you can give a little donation there as well, if that is what you want to do. If you cannot or you don't want to, that is fine. No one is making you do that. That is up to you. Watch the ads if you can. That is where I get a lot of my money from, monetary stuff and all that ad revenue. So thank you guys for that, for doing that. Now, poet artist analysis video will be out hopefully if not this week, then next week. I'm going to try to get it out this week though, because I want content for this week. I really want content for this week, so I'm going to try to get it out this week. All right. So please look forward to it. It's a 33-minute video, so there's going to be a lot of YouTube shorts, most likely, that I'm going to make with it. And CapCut changed how you make YouTube shorts, so it's going to be a little bit different. Sucks that it's going to be like that, but I got to do what I got to do. But yeah, after that, I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I have a lot of plans, so just stay tuned. And thank you guys again for coming to the live stream. And until then, I will go and see my puppy now. I will go see Pachi. And Jesus. All right, Pachi, I'm coming. Bye, guys. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.